Welcome to the Wine Fine Talks. Today we have a very special guest, Alice Tétienne from Champagne Henriot. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Alice, you are the cellar master and the vineyard director for this very respected champagne house. Can you tell us about the vineyards? Now, what I do understand is you do produce really lovely non-vintage and vintage wines, mostly from classified vineyards, so Grand Cru and Premier Cru plots. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the House of Henriot first was founded in 1808 by Apolline Henriot, a woman who was a grower, so that means she cultivated vine, and the notion of vineyard was really important for her. When she founded the house, she had a vineyard located in only Grand Cru, in the north of Montagne de Reims. And there is another period very important in terms of definition of the vineyard of Henriot, that was 1880. In 1880, the fourth generation of the Henriot family got married with another grower, a girl named Marie Marguet, who was a grower too. She had a vineyard located in Côte des Blancs, another very famous sector for the Grand Cru, and she had 3 different crus in her vineyard. And the fact to have diversity of different terroirs from those very famous crus permits to have diversity of aromas in our blend, diversity of aromas in our champagne. It permits to have vibration, to have many different nuances in our blend and in our tasting of the Champagne Henriot.
I love that because you're hitting on so many important points with champagne, because champagne, people love it for its complexity, for its nuance, for its ability. I mean, you're talking about assemblage really, which is, vinifying a lot of different still wines from different very great old historic plots, and then building a layered wine as a result. Am I correct?
Yes. In fact, the essence of champagne is the blend. And the essence of the House of Henriot is blend. At the beginning of the house, the founder of the house decided to make a non-vintage, because this is the DNA of Champagne area. To make blend is something really important for us. But when you do blend, you need to have diversity of elements. You need to have diversity of wines. Thanks to the diversity of terroir. Every year, for example, in the House of Henriot, we obtain around 120 different wines from the last harvest. We have to taste all those wines. When we do it, it's really a gift, because we discover personalities, different characters, different vibrations, and we have choice. This is why blending exercise is so important historically for us and still today.
With every champagne house having their own signature taste profile, so therefore you have sort of a template to work to when you blend. How would you describe your signature taste profile?
I think the first point is about generosity. The notion of generosity for us means diversity of aromas. And we want that when we drink a glass of a champagne from the House of Henriot, we want to have always something that we like. We want that every people find something that he likes in our champagne. So generosity, because complexity and diversity of aromas. Then I think it's very good to have generosity, but it's good to have a certain distinction and an elegance. So when we describe our champagnes, we always talk about generosity, elegance, distinction. And then there is something else, that is the freshness. Freshness is something really important for us. We think about it during the harvest. We think to it when we compose the blend, in order to be sure to have wines that have longevity, that are able to age very well. Because every time we create something in the House of Henriot, we think to the present and we think to the future. And we want to create champagne that are very beautiful now, but that they will be very beautiful in the future.
I love that. And you know what? That's something that I think a lot of people don't understand is just how age-worthy beautiful fine champagne can be. And right now we have a bottle here that's, you know, more than 10 years old. Your 2012 Brut Rosé. Can you maybe walk me through a tasting of this?
The Rosé Vintage 2012 is a very specific cuvée in our collection. It's quite different than the rest of the collection of champagne we have, because in the house of Henriot, every cuvée are about a story, a particular period of the house, and a vineyard.
So you don't make the rosé vintage every year?
We don't make it every year, absolutely. We need to have a particular weather. We need to have warm weather because we want to have spices. We want to have an aromatic profile based on richness, fruits, lot of character, lot of charisma. We want to have concentration. We want to have a lot of spices that permit to have food pairing very specific.
So with that particular profile, maybe you can talk to the profile as it expresses itself on the palate. As I taste it, the attack is beautiful, but it's not like other champagnes. There's quite a bit of power behind that attack. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is first a selection of wines from 2012 that were really strong, with strong character, with a lot of expression. So that's why when we smell this champagne, something happens. There is powerful. And when we put the champagne in the mouth, it's crazy. You have a beautiful structure. It's very solid. It's strong again. And you have a little bit of tannins. You have a very long profile. So this is due first to the year 2012 that permitted to obtain this profile. And it's due to the selection of wines from specific terroirs in the blend that offer that. We have, for example, a majority of wines from the south of Montagne de Reims, from patch of vine exposed to the south. So that's why you have lots of concentration in the mouth. And we have wines in majority from Pinot Noir. So that's why you have this type of fruit, the red and black fruit in the nose and in the mouth.
So Alice, I love this wine, but I have a question. Since you are so familiar with it, tell me, what's your favorite thing to eat with this wine?
Interesting question. I think we can permit everything with this champagne, every experiences. This is a champagne that is very strong and can be paired with very strong foods. So I think now I would like to drink it with game meats.
Oh, I love that idea. Duck or goose or rabbit maybe. All of it would work beautifully. And I think it's the Pinot Noir. Alice, thank you so much for joining us. What you had to say is fascinating. And I love what you're doing in the bottle. Thank you.
Thank you so much and cheers.
Cheers.